You're listening to Moment of Truth, a weekly challenge from the front lines of faith, as heard on Courageous Christianity with Richard Mendelow, a radio show and podcast about real faith for the real world.
Today, our Moment of Truth comes from John chapter 8, verse 32, which says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Years ago, I had a job which relied heavily on statistics. To better understand the impact of our efforts, we tried to measure everything, and my boss would always caution me. He would say, "Be careful, figures lie, and liars figure." And I've never forgotten that. I believe that if the thinking of men were a movie studio, and they were releasing a new movie, the promotion would probably sound something like, "From the studio that brought you the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, the Dark Ages, endless religious conflict, the bleeding of the sick, the belief that the world is flat, World War I, and the sequel, World War II, and our greatest failures, socialism and communism, in our boldest failure yet, we're bringing you progressive thinking, gender ideology, and the legalization of pot, starring many celebrities, many politicians, and a long list of other self-righteous people who refuse to read the Bible. Coming to a community near you, tickets available through your phone, your TV, and most conversations that take place each day. Rated R for violence, profanity, stupidity, and the terrible impact it will have on your children." Honestly, I believe that's what the thinking of men produces. And although I jest, I spent too much of my life looking for answers in the thinking of men. And then I noticed that the thinking of men didn't produce good fruit or truly joyful people. And I noticed how those who wanted to manipulate the thinking of men didn't want our children to study history. And I noticed how the thinking of men changed with every generation. And then, as I read the Bible, I noticed how the thinking of men conflicted with Scripture on absolutely every point, and it became too much for me. More than anything, I wanted truth. Truth which bears fruit. Truth which doesn't change depending on the channel you watch on TV. Truth that doesn't change depending on the administration you voted for or the country you were born in. And I became less interested in who I offended and more interested in speaking and living the plain, compassionate, unchanging truth of God. The Bible verse on which our moment of truth is based says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." In the context of this verse, when the Apostle John says, "and the truth will set you free," he's referring to the soaring, unlimited, unburdened hope of faith which transcends everything about this world. Knowing the truth of God frees us from man's philosophies, his conflicting beliefs about psychology, politics, diet, AI, DEI, LGBTQ, and his various schools of cultural and economic thought which pridefully ignore the suffering they produce. The truth of God breaks the chains which keep us all in bondage on this global plantation. It focuses us on what truly matters, and it protects us from that which would enslave us again. It allows us to raise children who understand the certainty of God's love and live lives free from the plague of anxiety, and it shows us how to navigate every situation which could cause us harm in ways that bring us peace from endless conflict and in ways which glorify God. Marriage counselors have recently began saying that a man's greatest need is for respect and that a woman's greatest need is for love and security. Ephesians chapter 5 said that 2,000 years ago. Many in psychology think Adler had it right with his focus on us being able to choose our best future. The Bible said that in Isaiah chapter 43, verses 18 and 19, 2,500 years ago, when it said, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." God's truth is the foundation of everything good and kind and encouraging and of lasting value. As we look at the things in our lives which are aligned with the truth of God, we can encourage those things. And when we identify things in our lives which are not aligned with the truth of God, then like weeds, we must pull those things out before they spread. Don't fall for the ever-changing, arrogant, and flawed thinking of men when you can live according to the unchanging, infallible truth of God. And that's courageous Christianity.
This has been your Moment of Truth. To hear the full conversation, visit courageouschristianity.today/listen. Or search Courageous Christianity with Richard Mendelow wherever you get your podcasts.